Hello again! I'd like to show you my latest journal. It's a junk journal and it's a travel journal because I'm going to use it on our trip to Croatia this summer. I'll just do a quick flip through. I've used all kinds of paper bags. I embellished the pages. I dyed the pages with coffee and tea. This is just a printout from Google Maps from the trip from the Netherlands through Germany, through Austria, through Slovenia to Croatia and back. So I've put in a lot of paper clips so I can exchange everything. These are journaling cards. I can journal or sketch or draw on, and I'm flexible to move them around in the journal. I've also used an old atlas because it gives me the feeling of traveling, and I just like the maps and I like the colors, the blues and greens and the sandy colors. This is an old atlas from 1968. It doesn't even have the maps of Croatia, of course, because it was part of Yugoslavia back then, but that's okay. I just like the colors. I've made a lot of tuck spots and journaling tags and cards, but I can also write on the pages themselves or draw on them or make sketches. The music and book pages, I should mention, I didn't destroy any books. I took these from a thrift store, and if I wouldn't have taken them, they would have been destroyed or shredded. So I think I didn't demolish the books, but I saved some pages. Okay. More journaling tags, journaling cards. These, I just like the look of this and put it in. Tuck spots. I dyed the paper with coffee and tea and all kinds of things. These are already bought papers, but I gave my personal touch by splashing some coffee, tea and watercolor and gold watercolor on it and rounded the corners, and I inked the edges a bit to give it that grungy look. This is also coffee dyed, and on these ones I put some plastic doilies or placemats in between the papers, so you get this nice lace-like texture. And some more things, I put in some fabric, some edges. I used some stenciling, put on the tissues, and like you see, it's a bit wobbly and I like that look. I like the hair and feel of it. These are the pages with the red cabbage dye. This is a collage I made before, grunged it up, and I used it for something, and now, but first I scanned it and then printed it again on drawing paper. These are the onion skin papers, onion skin dye, coffee papers. This one is the inkjet paper that holds the color better from the coffee dye. As you can see, I sewed it with a cotton with some wax on it. And I put in a lot of paper clips to hold the cards. So it's flexible, I can move them around or change them replace them by things I collect during my trip. Some stenciling with coffee dye. This is faux handmade paper. Well, it's handmade, but it's not really paper. I put a silicone mat with glue that I mixed it with water, put a tissue down, I put down the dried flower leaves and then put another tissue on it, and because it's wet you can flatten it and then let it dry, and it becomes a translucent, and I like the wrinkles in it. Some more paper, some tuck spots, a printout of the trip we are going to make in Croatia. And I've also used my sewing machine to sew around the papers. I like the effect of that very much. It gives the whole journal a bit extra. This is regular copy paper. This was experimenting with stencils and spraying some coffee dye on it with a metallic powder in it. But I liked how it turned out, even though you can't see the metallic much, but I liked it anyway. So more journaling cards, some paper folded like an envelope, and I can journal on that too. I made a band around this page that can contain, I can change this to another page. I used old book pages for this, and I can tuck things underneath. This is a writing board I made, because when I put things in and maybe by the paper clips the pages get wobbly, and when I want to write on the pages themselves like these, I can put them on the board, and then it's smooth enough to write on. So that was a lesson learned from my other journal, that this would be handy. I didn't invent this, I saw it somewhere else and I thought, oh well, that's the solution for my problem that I had in my other travel journal. So more maps. And these are the spinach dyed papers, which are not as green as I would have expected. The other side of the handmade paper. Some other journaling cards. See, I like this grungy look of the papers. I embellished them. I did the embellishing, like collaging and stenciling, because I think they invite me to write on them and to use the pages. And maybe I'll cover them up with things, but maybe I'll leave them like this, and then it's okay as well. So some more stenciling. Maybe it's inviting to write about the nature in during our trip. I don't know yet. It's still open what I will use it for. More paper to journal on or draw on, or just leave it like this is, because it's wonderful like it is. So more paper clips. This is another thing, a tuck spot to put things, and this looks like an envelope, but it really is a long journal spot. And here are some more tags to write on, draw on, or glue on. And a large bag, it's also a paper bag, and to put things in that are wider or thicker, like maps or something. It's journal number 11. I didn't make videos of all of them. I didn't want to keep this one from you, because I hope to have inspired you to make your own. There are lots of videos on YouTube on how to make them, and it's really not that hard to make one yourself. Personally, I think the advantage of a junk journal like this is that the pages are grungy and wobbly and not as clean and smooth. And you know, when I write a story on this page and I made some mistakes, or in the end I don't like the story at all, then I can say, oh well, I've got another nice image of a map or a ticket, and I'll just glue it on, and no one will care about it. I hope you're inspired to make your own junk journal. There are lots of wonderful videos on the internet. If you have some questions on how I did something, I'll be happy to help you and explain to you as good as possible how I did things. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll have a wonderful summer. Bye bye.